Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes. Public sector unions, but predominantly the nurses and all those who work within the NHS, because there's several unions in the NHS. You have Unison, Unite, GMB, and so forth. Well, they're all set to reject the government's paltry pay offer. While the government are paying themselves a nice big chunk extra, and they've given the junior doctors extra, and they've given the train drivers extra, and all that, they're offering a tiny pittance to the nurses, and the nurses have said no. And their unions aren't rejecting it. The independent pay review body said 3% for 1.38 million public sector workers in the NHS, and Labour agreed, went, okay, we'll give you that. But the union's saying, no, we've had years and years of underpayment, and we need to be reflected back to where we were even just a few years ago. So they want more. Now, of course, this is a rod for their own back. I've said this before. Labour gave all those big pay rises to other groups. Why would they then say to the nurses, oh no, you can't have that, you're not worthy? Well, if the nurses take action, who can blame them? But the whole of the NHS would grind to a halt. Now, they've already said they're not going to pull out of things like high dependency wards and whatever. But they can do work to rules, they can work to shift and so forth. There will be cover, but there won't be much, and etc. like that. And of course, this is horrendously bad news for a Labour government that's always prided itself on the NHS is safe with Labour. Well, in actual fact, the people who've put the most money into the NHS over the years have actually been the Tories. No getting away from that fact. But here we are. We're about to see a Labour government destroy the NHS because they're offering so little. And what's worse is that they want more, obviously, but they want something like 4.5%, 5%, not the 2.85% that the government offered. So it's not unachievable. But the government's already offered other groups more. I mean, at the same time, the nurses, in this poultry one, they've offered the teachers 4%, but the teachers want 6, and so forth. Why would you offer the teachers 4 and the nurses 2.85? They're all public sector. Give them all the same bloody pay rise. It's a joke. But, they're saying, oh, but if we take resources away from the teachers to give it to the nurses, then the teachers are... Well, fine. Here's the thing. Stop giving 11 billion a year to African farmers. Stop giving 300 billion to Ukraine. Stop giving billions to Mauritius. Here's the thing. You stop giving all that foreign money away, you end up with a nice little pot to be able to look after the nurses and the teachers in this country. Who knows? Get the country back on track. Lower the taxes. Make Britain successful. But that's not what they want, is it? Successful people don't vote Labour. It's all part of the plan. Thanks very much. Bye.